Binary thinking is a trap, and it's destroying your growth. People limit their own potential because they think in absolutes. They think, if I'm anxious, I cannot be confident. If I'm emotional, I cannot be logical. If I'm fragile, I cannot be resilient. If I failed, then I'm a failure. That is absolutely dangerous because nature is paradoxical. A flower is delicate and yet it survives violent storms. Water is soft and yet it carves through solid rock. A tree bends with the wind precisely because it is flexible. If it were rigid, it would snap. So nature runs on and loop, not if-then logic. And this is where humans get it wrong. It's just humans. It's just us that we force ourselves to think in terms of these fixed, absolute categories. We think, I am, not disciplined. I am introverted. I am not money-minded. I have social anxiety. I have trauma. We assign these categories to ourselves and then we essentially use them as permanent conclusions. But reality doesn't care about your labels and your categories. Reality only responds to adaptation. Think of world famous performers that perform in front of millions of people. Think of Adele, Justin Bieber, Zayn Malik. They are world famous performers, and yet they openly talk about anxiety, stage fright, and panic attacks. So what are they? Are they anxious or are they confident? Which one are they? Are they both? The answer is neither. They are adaptive. They are evolution itself. They're not a static identity. They're an evolving, living system. People think strength is the absence of weakness. It is not. Strength is your ability to be of service to yourself, to move and to guide yourself in the right direction despite weakness. Think of athletes, Bethany Hamilton, Sheetal Devi. They're armless and yet they're world-class athletes. Bethany Hamilton lost her arm during a shark attack. For a lot of people, they would logically conclude that their life is essentially ended. Not her. She went back in the water. She trained her body. She adapted her technique. She competed with the greatest champions of all times and she won. Sheetal Devi, she learned how to use a bow and an arrow with her feet. At the age of 16, she's one of the greatest archers on earth. And so what are they? Are they disabled or are they elite? Again, the answer is neither. They are evolution itself. They're not fixed identities. They're not static objects. They are nature evolving in real time. And this is the mistake people make, is that they attach too strongly to a given moment in time, a trait, an emotion, an event, and then they essentially build a prison around it. And then they conclude permanently, I am not this, I am that. And that limits their growth and their potential because life doesn't work like that. Life runs on contradiction itself. Think of a storm. Right in the center of the chaos is stillness. Think of the ocean. It's violent on the surface, but calm at its depths. Think of your own life. You can be fearful and courageous, emotional and logical, wounded and powerful, unclear, uncertain, and capable, because you are nature. You are paradoxical. You are all of it. This is where people destroy themselves psychologically, is they shrink themselves into these labels because labels feel psychologically safe. But safety limits adaptation, and adaptation is the foundation of survival. And this is why binary thinking is extremely dangerous, because it disconnects you from reality. Reality is fluid. Nature is fluid. You are fluid. You're not a fixed object. You're not static. You're life in motion. And when you understand this, growth becomes an option again, because now you don't let yourself be defined by failure, because you're not defined by your losses. You're not defined by success either. Those are experiences, not identities. And over time, when you stop falling into this trap of binary thinking, you stop asking, what am I or who am I? Instead, you start asking, what can I become? And that is the difference between a trapped mind and an evolutionary mind. And evolution always wins. And this is exactly what I coach in the Neurologic Recode, is how to recalibrate your perception and use worst case scenarios as growth opportunities in life. How do you make your mind your best work of art? And if you'd like to check out the full system, you can find it in the link below.